very warm welcome to Great Principles. I'm Seema Choria. Our guest today has been an highly effective consultant and trainer. She has 15 years of experience in the field of education in different capacities. School primary years coordinator, CBSE trainer, international coordinator for the British Council, national academic coordinator at Stratagem EduServe Private Limited, Raipur, British Council School Ambassador, East Zone India, and member of assessment panel of British Council, Kolkata. She represented India amongst 14 countries at the teacher conference at Landskill, Sweden at innovative teaching pedagogies. Apart from such impressive accomplishment, she has been project coordinator with State Literacy Mission Authority, Chhattisgarh, and the UNICEF, has worked with 30 countries to mentor schools to Welcome to the show, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much, Seema, ma'am.
Ma'am, we would like to know something about yourself and how did you land in the career in education?
Already you all have mentioned so many things about me in my introduction. So I would just like to tell you all about myself. Yes, I'm a firm believer in God and the karma rule. So from this, like, you can understand my personality. And if you talk about my career in education, it's like I started my career as a physical education teacher. And as of now, like, you can see me as a principal of Munchkins Palasham International Preschool. And at the same time, I'm also working with CBSE as a trainer and British Council as a freelance consultant, mentoring government and private schools. And of course, I'm representing India at international level also, where I am working with a commission on gender inequalities and rights. And midway, I think you all have mentioned so much about me, so I need not specify here. Yeah. Yes,
Ma'am, you have phenomenal accomplishments, so we need to mention that.
Oh, sure. So in various schools, not many schools, but, handful of schools I've worked as international coordinator, creative head, as academic coordinator for primary schools for mathematics, or as a panel member of Exceed also. So there have been multifaceted works and plethora of works. So, I've done that and got so many exposures, especially when I have worked with a corporate Stratagem Private EduServe Limited. I have worked at the India level, next education private level at India level. And then again, also with a very good exposure when I have worked with State Literacy Mission Authority, Chhattisgarh, in collaboration with UNICEF. So that these are my wonderful experiences and accomplishments, which really has helped me to gain so much, having qualitative discussions with very renowned people from across India, not only, but also from the world level. So lovely. And I'm working with, as of now, 5 continents on the commission and representing India.
That's great, ma'am. So going ahead, ma'am, we'd like to know about your school, Little Munchkin International Preschool, and what is the philosophy of the school? What makes it unique?
Basically, as we see as of now, like we have to develop a child, for the 21st century. And we were so much uncertain when we used to take trainings. We used to always talk about we are going to welcome an uncertain world where there will be no job opportunity. So we have to work on skills. And all of a sudden, due to this COVID crisis, that age has come. So we are preparing our children as 21st century citizens, seeing in like the possibility where a child is a good communicator, creative, critical thinking, decision maker, and of course, a child who takes care of the environment at the same time is more disciplined, is able to solve his or her problems, not every time dependent on others. Even at this age, we don't support, like if a child is crying, we just support, we don't pamper a child. So that, a child is somewhere emotionally stable. So that is how we are going with the philosophy of Munchkins. And yes, at the same time, you can have a window of the post in FB, like on the Munchkins platform. You'll get to know, each and every child is catered the same way.
Right.
So that is the philosophy. And yes, we follow the renowned British level curriculum, that is EYFS, Early Year Foundation stage, where it is nothing different. We are doing whatever the earlier traditional schools or curriculum were doing. But yes, there, we have a scope of correcting, providing remediation to the child then and there, rather than waiting for some other opportunity to give some extra classes or remediation. So this is the most wonderful part of the EYFS curriculum.
A much needed philosophy, I must say, because what is happening is everyone is educating school around the globe, but we are not teaching the children to be future ready. We are teaching what we have learned in past. So
Actually,
yeah, so I really appreciate the philosophy of the school. So ma'am,
yes.
going ahead, you have been a trainer, a certified trainer. So why is teacher training necessary?
See, it's not necessary. I feel like whether a teacher is experienced or inexperienced, it is requirement. It is the need. When we talk about food, it is a need. So training is a need for everyone, whether the teacher is experienced or inexperienced. It is just, to have enhancement in the subject knowledge, enhancement in the classroom management, or self-enhancement. It can be professionally or it can be personally. And also keeping oneself updated with the researches happening at the world level. So that is why teachers training is very, very important. And you'll not believe, Seema ma'am, it was like once when I was working in one of the schools, it was mandatory every time on every Sunday we used to take workshops. And that time we were there with a very frown on our face. We used to say, oh my God, one Sunday gone. But today I say, yes, those workshops have really helped me to reach this level. And I really, really appreciate my principal who has taken so much of pains and helped us to reach to this level. That really helps in grooming also.
Rightly said by you, ma'am. Even the pandemic has suddenly, urged this need of keeping everyone updated. I have seen so many teachers are so apprehensive of technology, but the pandemic has created this necessity of training for everyone at each level today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I tell you, Seema ma'am, I'll just add something here. Still, I am taking so many webinars, so many, workshops. At the same time, I'm also grooming myself, taking it from different countries. Right. So it's not only me, I am still working. I'm a long way back. I have to still move ahead. As you know, the whole life is a learning, journey, and it does not stop. It keeps on moving. So I just suggest everyone who are just novice in this field, they should keep on honing their skills. It is through trainings and workshops which help you actually to reach that level. That's a wonderful question.
Yeah, and only a lifelong learner can achieve success. Learning never stops.
Actually.
You have been an academic coordinator also at various levels. So we would like to ask you here, why pedagogy matters for innovative teaching?
Yeah, because see, when we talk about innovative teaching, there are different types of learners. Now, we cannot reach to every learner through one teaching pedagogy. So there has to be innovation every time. Like suppose a child who is able to understand through doing. So that innovation has to be there for that pedagogy. A teacher cannot use every time the same way. It will be monotony in the class. So that is why, and ultimately the need of the education is to help a child to be, a better citizen of any nation, maybe India, and of course with good communicative skills. Right. A child should be able to express, whether verbally or written. But yes, in India, we promote more of written. So I'm talking about India. So written and communicative, both are very, very important. So we have to keep in mind that which innovation will help this pedagogy to be successful, to benefit the learner.
Right. Absolutely, ma'am. So how important is teaching literacy in all content areas, ma'am? We were just talking about reading, writing. So I would just want to know that in all the content areas, what is the importance of this reading and writing?
When we talk about reading and writing, I'm just coming back to the same what you asked earlier. Basically, we want a child to read, to think, to write, to listen, and to speak. Whichever subject it is, whether it is numeracy, literacy, whether it is concepts, because in Munchkins also we follow that understanding the world, UTW. So there also, like, we just promote whatever is taught. These are the 5 areas we need to focus on, so that when a child finally reaches the real life, There a child should have these foundation experiences and try to prove. So when you talk about the literacy, so it is about honing the skills again communicative skills and the thinking skills. Once a child is able to think, he is able to know the problem and take the decision accordingly. So these are the two 21st century skills very much required for the future generation, because once you are a problem solver and decision maker, I think you will not face any problem. So definitely, because these are the two things which present generation, I think they are facing. And so many tragedies we see children do when they reach class 10th and 12th, and they just forget about so many things. So once a child knows how to solve a problem and to take decisions, so we have to hone it from right now, not just wait for the 11th hour and just work on it. So we are, or maybe the parents are, they should work as facilitators rather than guides or mentors. They should be facilitators to the children.
Right, ma'am, because what we see basically these days is parents do too much of hand holding.
Actually.
A child is entering in the college and parent is supporting and filling the forms and standing in the queue for him, which is not at all acceptable to a college going student. But
Yeah,
even they have become like dependable on their parents for everything today.
Exactly. And this is where the role of literacy is there. Because every time what we feel literacy is something just writing, nothing else. But it's not that. You are developing something so important as a skill in a child. But that is a gradual move. All of a sudden, you cannot expect wonders to come, because how the child has nurtured or brought up. So that depends on the present, maybe a preschool. Preschool is the correct age when a child is actually going through, so many problems. But the parents feel the child is small and he or she is dependent on them. It's not that way. At the age of 5, a child can be very disciplined. But yes, we need to understand that. In our munchkins also, Seema ma'am, I'll tell you, we have developed when we were working offline. So that time, the children knew, where to keep the resources. Okay, what is the day to day, which activity we are going to take. They were very well about which group arrangement we are going to sit. But what happened? Because of this online, now it's becoming difficult. But yes, from this session, we are starting with the quiz, the spell bee, so as to make them, more oriented, more disciplined, and so that in groups and all, when they are taking the quiz and spell bee, so they are more disciplined. So we are trying to work and so that they are more disciplined.
Wonderful, ma'am. So, ma'am, like you said that the need of education is to make children problem solver. So what is your proud moment as a teacher? What are you most proud of accomplishing as a teacher?
As a teacher, I would like to say, Seema ma'am, I have really worked with 9 to 10 years of experience with British Council and Exceed also, not 9 to 10 years with Exceed, but of course 3 years with Exceed, 3 or 4 years. And I have taken so much of learning, expertise, the way you work systematically. I've taken all these things from these corporates. So I say as a teacher, everybody should try to work for the benefit of the child with proper planning and implementation. It's not a game. It's actually a child. It is just a building block for the nation. So each and every child is important. A child can be a slow learner. I don't use this word slow learner. Maybe, some other problem is there. So, a child should always be taken as the building block, a unit of the nation, and a teacher should understand the child individually. What's the problem? What is the cause behind it? When I talk about as a trainer, it is ABC. B is the behavior, A is the antecedent to it, and C is the consequence. So when we see the consequence, we should always think about the behavior, and behind the behavior, what is that? That is the antecedent. So I always tell my teachers, please see that. If a child is cranky, if the child is trying to just move out of that place, why that is there? Find the cause and then see the consequence and then treat the child accordingly. So yes, I just try to convey this to every teacher who have started their career or who are still working. Please don't brand a child. It is important to understand this. What we do, if a child has made a mistake once, we just say, and we talk about it in the staff room, and we say, the child was like this in my class, so the other teacher takes it for granted. Oh, the child is like that only. No, it is not that. So, my career says we should try to work specifically on every individual child rather than branding a child. Please, my request to all the teachers, try to put it, it is not a profession, it is working from heart.
Lovely,
They
ma'am.
need us.
So when you have molded each and every child as per his individual preferences, you feel proud.
Really, Seema ma'am, yesterday also I got on Messenger, one of my students, she just messaged me and said, ma'am, hi, how are you? And I said, oh, Iksha, you are there? And what she said, ma'am, you were my best of the teachers. I was taken away. It was such a touchy moment. And I asked her, what are you doing? She said, ma'am, I'm a music teacher, because I know she had some disabilities. And she was very close to me. There were 3-4 children in my class. I used to take extra classes with them. So they were very close to me. So, when they saw me and they said, ma'am, I am doing this, and I always say, I'm so proud of you, because I know their potential. Accordingly, I have to give them, I have to have that flair for them, so that they feel, oh, wow, my ma'am is still thinking the same way for me. And they feel elated, and they feel like doing something more beyond that. So that is why, like, I'm so close to all my students. Many of them are my FB friends, and just try to be connected. Many are getting married also now. So really, it's really a wow to be a teacher.
Definitely, ma'am. And when a child with a disability is able to do something, he has the feeling that I am adding value to the society. And that is what is more rewarding than anything else.
Actually.
So, ma'am, these were definitely some proud moment and wow moments for you. Now, there must have been some scenario that have been really stressful. So, how did you handle those?
I think, ma'am, every day is stressful. Whenever, you as the head of any institution, or maybe, working as a unit of the school, and underheads and being the head, both are stressful conditions, ma'am. But, whenever a change is there, whenever there is a need of change, stress automatically comes. So one should know how to handle stress. It's not about because taking stress is going to create so many other issues, maybe in the environment or in the body. So it's like useless. It's about handling. It's about team management, how you allocate work, how you distribute it. It's all upon, your mindset. So at the moment, we all work on growth mindset. So I just promote, yes, growth mindset is what? Whatever has happened, let it happen. Just go ahead with a positive note. That's all. I don't take stress, ma'am.
So this is your stress mantra.
Yeah, my stress mantra. Yeah, stress mantra. And for a happy world, a happy mantra, I should say.
Great. Wow. Okay. So this brings to me to the very interesting section of the show that is called Rapid Fire Round, which is one of my favorite. Ma'am, you have to answer in one word.
Okay.
So list 3 things which needs to be adopted in our current education system from ancient times.
You mean to say the Gurukul system, right?
Yeah, ancient Vedic times. What would you
Vedic
like to
times? Okay.
System?
The first thing what I like is simple thinking and simple living and high thinking.
Great.
Which I found missing in the present world. Which should be there. And yeah, simple living and high thinking. Next is meditation.
Right.
One should be focused. And the third one is love your nature.
Wow. Beautiful thought and beautiful take from the Vedic times. Now going to the next question. Name a school principal you admire the most.
I think all my principals were wonderful, ma'am. But I take one name, Mrs. Priyanka Tripathi, principal of Krishna Public School, Raipur. A wonderful person. Really a wonderful person.
Right. So what is the right form of education? One model for all or individualized learning?
No, we cannot go for one model. It is individualized learning. Okay.
At what age should a child be taught to write?
See, scribbling starts at, I think 2 only, but yes, 3 age is the apt age as per India also to start writing. But again, I say, Seema ma'am, it depends on, the foundation skills, whether a child's fine motor development has taken properly or not. At 2, the child starts to talk. It is always said 1 to walk and 2 to talk.
Yeah.
That is what is followed. But yes, at the age of 2, they start scribbling, but not all. We have to consider their strength of the muscles. At 3, we promote at Munchkins also proper writing.
Okay. So which education board do you feel is the best?
Ma'am, ultimately, all the boards have, their own vision and mission, and is to have a, proper learning of a child, so as to be a successful person as a citizen of India. So I don't discourage any board. It is like I am in favor of all the boards, whether it is ICSE, CBSE or state board.
Great. Hopefully now we'll have a centralized board system soon, as
Yes.
proposed by NEP.
Yes, and we are working on the NEP, the National Education Policy, which will be implemented. So seeing that, I think after so many years, there's going to be a change. So Corona is coming with a positive note also at some places. Of course,
and much needed change. Much needed change. Indian education system needed that introspection.
Yes, yes. I may I share something here? Wonderful thing I remember.
Sure.
There's a small story. A man was sleeping. After 100 years, he woke up, and you know what he saw? He saw, when he got up, he started moving in the lanes, on the roads, in different buildings. He was totally shocked, amazed what's there. Everybody's there with a gadget, mobile phone, which we call. He didn't know what's a mobile phone, because after 100 years, he couldn't recognize. So he said, my God, where I have come down. And somewhere gadgets are there, somewhere, the LEDs are there, somewhere Apple TVs are there, somewhere, in the hospitals also, he could not recognize. My God, these robots have come down. Only one place he could recognize. Can you guess?
School.
Exactly. Because there was no change.
Change. Still the same, yeah. Oh, wonderful. Beautiful story, ma'am. And this really, truly imbibes a need for the change, which is much needed.
Yes.
So going ahead, ma'am, we comes to the section called Hidden Talent, where we would like to know what hobbies or sports you're involved into outside your work and why do you enjoy them?
I've always been an athlete. A badminton player and a basketball player. But as of now, I'll be, of course, 42 years now. So, I prefer to work on fitness and to relax my mind. So every day I do cycling for 20 to 30 kilometers and listening music. And why I do it? For fitness, of course, because now it's my age to be fit. And it's always like it's said, and I believe also, a healthy mind resides in a healthy body.
Wonderful.
And so many, today, like I got the lines also in the newspaper. It's like the Corona is, little bit weak to hit you if you're fit.
Right.
So I keep on working on fitness, and this is the reason.
Okay, great. So it's always better to, have awareness about your fitness. That's really a good sign. So going ahead, ma'am, the last question of the show, which is called Question of the Day. How can international collaboration enhance teaching and learning in a school? You have been working with 40 countries and collaborating international exchange programs. So we'd like to know this from you.
Yeah, that's a philosophy of Munchkins as well, to collaborate with different countries, overseas schools. And the reason, like when we collaborate with different countries and how the school benefits is, when we plan, it's a community of learning. It's a learning community. And the teachers, they try to put in themselves with the other learning community at the other side of the code. So, they feel, oh, we are representing India and ours should be flawless. They keep working with great, commitment, dedication, and with the best creativity, because ultimately the name of India is going there. So what happens that time? The teacher, she tries to prepare students, she tries to prepare herself, the team flawlessly, and that becomes a habit, because collaboration or working collaboratively is not the end. It does not have an end. It's an ongoing process. It's actually every time moving, it's a journey. So that helps a child or a school to benefit and the quality keeps on improving. Every child, and then from this I would also like to tell you, it's not only the school, the children, they respect the culture, because it is said, if you know this, Swami Vivekanand, in his speech of 3 minutes in America, he said, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam.
Right. Yeah.
The world is a family. We should respect the culture of everyone. It's been passed now. We used to say British were like this, they were like this, with a no more. Because my little one, he is 7 years old, he asked me, why should you promote British Council work, Mama? They have done this to us. So I said, no, it is about the respect. Whatever has happened, sometimes we were also not good. But yes, now they are very good friends of us. So now when I went to Sweden, I took him with me, and he met, so many teachers across the globe. And then he became friends, and now he says, wow, Mama, this is so good. So, this actually, trains their mind. They start thinking differently, and it's a wonderful thing. And maybe after 2 or 3 years, after this COVID settles down, it's not going to move now. It will just settle down. So once the vaccination is done, I will promote this in Munchkins as well, because that is also one of our philosophies.
Right. Cultural exchange programs always, opens the door beyond books, and children start thinking differently.
Yeah. And I share one time what happened when I started my career as an international coordinator. We were collaborating with this thing, Thailand, Bangkok. And we had an exchange visit also with them. Right? And there was a game of Thailand, Bangkok, Sepak Takraw was the name of the game. As we play volleyball, they used to play the same game with not with hands, with the legs. They were not supposed to touch hands. Okay, neither head, only foot. So, and our national game was Kho-Kho. So, those children learned Kho-Kho from us, being online, and our children of India, they learned Sepak Takraw. And you will not believe, when they went there, our children went to Bangkok, our children, won in this Sepak Takraw, and they won in Kho-Kho.
Wow.
That was a perfect exchange.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
We got the award also, Seema ma'am, but that was a touchy moment for me. Wonderful. And still he is my friend. He keeps on messaging me.
Yeah, this is the beauty of these collaboration programs.
Actually. Yeah. And it's wonderful, very good people.
Okay. So on this note, ma'am, we would like to come to the end of our show. Thank you so much, ma'am. So ma'am has given us a lot of insights on why training is necessary, why literacy is important in all the content areas. Then the international collaboration program, that has been a very wonderful thought, which should be promoted actively across the country in all the schools. Today children needs to be multilingual, open to cultures, friendly, social. So on these thoughts, we have got valuable insights, and I'm sure viewers are going to enjoy the same. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was wonderful to have you.
Thank you so much, Seema ma'am. It was wonderful to have you as well. Thank you so much.